At 10 o'clock, Michelle Hussein will be here with a full roundup of the day's news. First, though, it's Our World, an investigation into the special Chinese vocational schools where as many as 1 million Muslims are said to be detained.
Look at this. Wow.
This is the story of a search.
Like a city.
Well, in fact, it seems we're not being allowed to get this close to it at all.
For something China doesn't want us to find.
Can we ask some questions?
It's a story of broken families.
Anam dadamның ahvalını mənə xəbərim yox hazırlıqca.
Broken faith.
Dinindən, etiqadından, adəmiylikindən vazgeç dedi.
And thousands of missing Muslims.
Satellites see beyond what the human eye can see.
And it's the story of the new evidence we've found, despite the attempts to stop us. Xinjiang, China's vast, far west, is a place of beauty. And fear. Checkpoints control the desert highways. And the region's towns and cities bristle with security. But there's something here they don't want the world to see.
So it's 8:30 in the morning now, and we've just arrived in the city of Yining. And straight away, as we left the train station, we've got 1, 2, and another one back there, 3 cars following us.
We're here to look for evidence of the network of camps in which China is reported to be detaining hundreds of thousands of Muslims.
Huge fences all around it, look.
Behind these blue steel walls, in a former school, is what China calls a re-education centre. But it looks more like a prison. Nearby, we find another.
Police station every few yards.
Outside, relatives queue up to visit. But any attempt to get out and film is quickly interrupted.
So this is as close as we're being allowed to get to one of these centres. Well, in fact, it seems we're not being allowed to get this close to it at all.
So, for our investigation, we're turning to images that China can't so easily block. Satellite photos. Last year, the school behind the blue fence had a football pitch. Today, it's covered with what look like accommodation blocks. Watchtowers are visible. On a corner, just outside the camp fence, we try to speak to a family.
What are you guys doing here?
Some officials try to stop us filming, but another intervenes. Let them speak, she says. I ask who they're visiting. My dad, he says.
Your dad's in there. Why can't we ask some questions?
Xinjiang's main Muslim minority are known as the Uyghurs. Their distinct identity and faith and a history of separatism has long made them a target of suspicion. Now we find many homes locked and deserted. Estimates suggest as many as 1 million people may now be in the re-education camps. Official notices say the missing are being looked after. But no one dares to speak. The constant monitoring and following sees to that. Some Uyghurs, though, have found a place of refuge in Turkey. A place with ties of language and faith. Just reciting an Islamic verse was enough, this man says, to put him in a re-education camp. His family, he fears, is still in one.
Anam, dadamның ahvalatını mene xəbərim yox hazırgıça. Qarindaşlarımның ahvalatını xəbərim yox. Dinindən, etiqadından, adamiylikindən vaz keç dedi.
In general, how did the guards treat the people inside?
Bir adamın qaşda digil olmaydigan şahvani sad gaplar bilan andı məsələn. Aşularımı qoqab durub hamda yürü qaldı olab hamda yaşaydı, biz mi şunda qıldık. Amma muamele baq qopal hamda dedi.
Some of those we meet are too afraid, even here in Turkey, to speak openly. This man says he was also put in a camp because of his religion.
Abayma muhtarı körsətkəndə bir ayallan bir hicablan resmini bana qıldı. Közün keçəgə vaxtda, yəni mən azraq tüz tutma, yəni tüncü kirginin bağındakı midrab qağallığım üçün şu vaxtda aptapda məni 8 saat tuğuzdu yəni. Mən üşündə getdim 8 saat tuğandan keyin. Yəni naşsız halətdə o appaq çıxan türmədən yəni
From 3 former inmates in 3 different camps, we hear 3 similar accounts. And all are concerned about the fate of relatives they've left behind.
The whole family? Tell me about life there. What was the routine?
Degende şu gün çıkışın bir yarım saat burun onu turguzdu. Bir piştek çaldı. Vaqt belirlegen şey. Her bir tüzüm kıldı ekan valla. Saqşalar 1 minutun içinde tayyorlab, sepkete zaplamızaq, oradan da hatta. Tızıp bolsak mı orada o işte boş qo'ymaydigan. Lekin şu gün chiqib bo'lgacha, saat 8gacha yugurib saladı.
Ettigini saha qopqandan keyin maydonga chiqib yugurish bor. Uzun yugurish bor. Maqsad qiynash bu yerda. An o'rnini yiqilib tushganlar bor, parchoqlari zaxmlanganlar bor.
Ular nashti qilish uchun Xitoyninki Shexujuyoxov Chilay boyanzı nulidiremin meyo gonsandan meyo Xinjiang demiş şuarlarını yine 80 neçə adam şu vaxtdan kirib 83 adam var. 83 adamın avazı xuddi bir adamdan gidək çıxmağaça ular naştılıq verilməydi yani. Uların qaydası mı şu?
Kanunu götürdü. Mesela özümüzün ballarını dinle terbiyelesek 3 yılını yeterliğince, yolda namaz okusak, onun 5 yılını yeterliğince degендek. Gün her kişinin tayağı kıskanmaydı. Zaten benim o da var yani mesela ben meydanda o da onun için məxsus urğan eva işğanımız var. İşğana ekip tezdan da uzup qap, işgöle tepedemde. Biz pideyalan saladı, biz tepede yakıp şeyimiz oturuzdu yine tepede.
Those we've spoken to are the lucky ones. They fled to Turkey in 2015. Since then, there are very few reports of anyone being released from the camps at all.
The testimony we've heard here is impossible to independently verify, of course, but what's striking are the consistencies, the descriptions of the routines in the camps, the brainwashing techniques, and most tellingly, perhaps, the results. Not love and loyalty for the Chinese Communist Party, but a deep and lasting resentment.
China denies it is incarcerating Muslims en masse, but state-run TV has been showing this footage. Apparently willing adults in bright, clean classrooms being taught about the pitfalls of religious extremism. The message is clear. These are not detention centres, but vocational schools.
我从小喜欢跳舞、唱歌，可是受到我周围的宗教极端思想的影响，想跳却不敢跳，想唱也不敢唱。
In the old Silk Road city of Kashgar, the government presents us with a tour guide. Our minders lurk a short way off, monitoring the conversation.
We've seen notices on the door saying some people's relatives are being looked after. What does that mean?
也可能是出去打工了，在这个周边乡镇，很多也是开这个工厂的。
It doesn't mean they've been taken away.
这不是说他们被带走了是吗？对，没有啊，带走都是打工，打工去了。因为我们这个就业项目也有在这个北疆、克拉玛依、石河子这些地方都是有这种专门的这个工厂的，有些也是去北疆打工的。像我一个远房亲戚，他在这个克拉玛依杜山子的工厂工作。
Nearby, Chinese tourists are taking pictures of Kashgar's main mosque. It has fallen silent, with no sign of prayer.
Anywhere else in the world, you'd expect a central city mosque like this one to be busy, bustling with worshippers. Not here. If China's purpose is the eradication of Islamic practice in Xinjiang, well, it may be on the brink of succeeding.
Innermost thoughts must now be hidden. The mildest expression of Islamic belief is a risk. Beyond the veneer of normality, the ever-growing camps await. As we arrive in the town of Dabancheng, we're being followed as usual. We are looking for evidence of the huge network of re-education camps that China is building across its western region of Xinjiang. And we're using satellite photos to help us. In 2015, this patch of desert just outside Dabancheng was empty. Less than 3 years later, it looked like this. The giant compound is surrounded by a high wall with 16 watchtowers. We try to approach the site by car.
Look at this.
It is being extended on a massive scale.
It's like a city.
But then the police block our way.
So here we are then, just a few meters from the camp, and as predicted, we've been stopped. If this really is all about education, then why the effort to stop us getting close?
It's huge.
It's huge.
We ask a team of satellite analysts to help us understand what we've found.
Impressive thing is
Taking our original image from April this year, they overlay a much more recent image.
everything double.
Double, even more than double the size.
It's clear how much the site has grown.
Within this highly secured area, they have built.
The team is also able to show that this one camp is part of something much bigger by identifying many other similar secure facilities right across Xinjiang. Plotting their growth over time shows just how fast they are being built.
Satellites see beyond what the human eye can see. As the years pass, we have detected that the number of infrastructures being built increases and most significantly in the past 2 years.
Prison design experts give us their analysis of the layout of the giant camp at Dabancheng. Male accommodation, female accommodation, administration buildings, even an isolation unit. It could now be one of the biggest detention facilities in the world, holding 11,000 inmates if single rooms were used, and as many as 130,000 if the inmates were housed in dormitories. Ethnic tension, fueled by resentment towards Chinese rule, has claimed hundreds of lives in Xinjiang. In recent years, the violence has shown signs of spreading. This attack in Beijing's Tiananmen Square killed 2 pedestrians. Hundreds of Uyghurs are reported to have travelled to Syria to join various militant groups. The camps are a direct response. A giant system in city after city, town after town, for the detention of religious believers and, it seems, anyone with an overseas connection of any kind.
The Chinese government, they want to delete the Uyghur nations from the world. They want to just, erase these nations. This is my mom's, me, and my brother.
Rayila Abulayati is a British Uyghur living in London.
One of the last times you saw your mother?
Last year, her mother came to visit, but soon after she returned to Xinjiang, she was taken away. 66-year-old Shamushina Pida is now thought to be in a camp. Proof, her daughter says, of just how wide China's definition of extremism now is.
As far as I know, they're targeting everybody else, whoever's relatives in abroad. Their children, their relatives, sisters, brothers. They're just targeting everyone. I'm not involved in any political activities. I'm just a normal person, studying student, looking after my son. Why they been detained my moms for what? For no reason.
I don't know when I'm going to hear their voice.
Mahmoud Turdi is another British Uyghur who has watched helplessly as family members back home disappear.
I'm just hoping them alive. That's my first hope. My sister's in prison. She was a TV presenter and she was the government employee. She had done nothing wrong. She's innocent. You are like an egg. The Chinese government's like a stone. They can crush you anytime and they are so powerful.
Do you suspect that the international community may be scared of challenging China too hard?
Everybody, they don't want to lose China, like as a business-wise. Money is important, but we are human.
International pressure is beginning to mount. At a recent UN hearing, Western countries, one by one, expressed deep unease.
We're very concerned about the treatment of ethnic minorities, including Uyghurs.
We recommend that all re-education centres be closed in Uyghur areas.
And all unlawful detention, including unconstitutional mass detention of Uyghurs.
And release Uyghurs and other Muslims who have been detained arbitrarily.
Allowing UN-mandated observers unrestricted access to places of internment in the region.
China, though, remained defiant.
新疆基于反恐斗争的需要，设立了教培机构，就是要通过教育帮助少数受极端主义侵蚀和影响的人摆脱恐怖和极端思想。我们不会接受个别国家罔顾事实、充满偏见和政治色彩的指责，更不会允许以人权为借口 干涉中国内政。
We asked the Chinese government for comment, but received no response to the evidence we've uncovered on the ground and from the sky. This field outside Kashgar has been transformed into a re-education camp in less than 6 months, complete with watchtowers. We attempt to film one of them, but once again, we're forced to leave. As thousands are swept up into such facilities, families are being broken. When Bilkis Habibullah fled Xinjiang with her children, her baby daughter Sekine didn't have a passport. Her father stayed behind, planning to bring her later, but now he's been taken away.
Amalım yok, taşlap geldim. Pasportu yok olgandikin. Agar gap uqqan bo'lsa meni kechiring deyishdan boshqa hech qanday gapim yo'qdi. Onalik mehrimni berolmadim qizimga. Ana uchun o'zining qizining nadaligini, hayotmi o'likmi, uni bilmaslikdan og'ir azob bo'lmasa kerak deb o'yladim.
What is your view about what the Chinese government is doing in Xinjiang?
Bu zulmni eng qisqa muddat ichida butun dunyo xalqini anglab, bizga yordam qilib bu zulmni yo'qotib, bizning yuraklarimiz chidamidi bularni anglab, biz ularga qarab turolmaymiz. Men butun dunyoga deymanki, butun dunyo ovozimizni anglasin. Uyg'ur musulmon qarindoshlarimizning hammani bizning inson haq huquqimizni bizga qaytarib berishini talab qilaman.
Re-education, vocational training, to use China's euphemisms, suggests something limited and temporary. But our evidence shows that the camps and prisons being used for that purpose are large-scale and seemingly permanent. The big question then is, where does all of this end? And the history of mass incarcerations, of course, offers some pretty ominous precedents. Turn us back here.
We make one final attempt to visit one final camp, where we've heard 10,000 people may be held.
You just shut down the whole road.
In front of us, the police close the whole highway. For repair, they say. We try other routes, but every time at roadblock,
we're not going to get anywhere close to it.
After roadblock,
no.
There's no way through.
This takes us back to downtown.